Welcome to English Practice Every Day. Today we will learn 5 simple English proverbs and practice them with simple sentences. After practicing, we will read a short story that uses all the proverbs, helping us understand them in context. Let's start. Please speak out loud with me as we practice. 1. Live and learn. Live and learn. This proverb expresses the idea that through life's experiences, especially mistakes and failures, we gain wisdom. It acknowledges that we are constantly learning, often in unexpected or challenging ways. Liz made a bad investment, but took it as a lesson, reminding herself that live and learn. When Joe burned the dinner trying a new recipe, he laughed and remarked, "Live and learn. I'll be more careful next time." After forgetting his friend's birthday again, Tom simply shrugged and said, "Live and learn," promising to be more mindful next time. Two, you are never too old to learn. You are never too old to learn. This proverb emphasizes learning is a lifelong process and that acquiring new knowledge or skills is valuable regardless of one's age. It encourages continuous personal growth. Mary picked up a new language in her 70s, proving that you are never too old to learn. When my grandma started painting at 80, she reminded us that you are never too old to learn. Even after retirement, Jeff enrolled in a computer course because he firmly believes that you are never too old to learn. 3. You learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. This saying highlights the endless opportunities for learning that each day offers. It reminds us that life is full of surprises and that every day brings new insights, even in the smallest details. Reading a few pages daily is a habit that reinforces my belief that you learn something new every day. Even on my morning commute, I discover interesting facts about the city. I truly believe you learn something new every day. Traveling to different countries often reminds me that you learn something new every day, no matter how familiar a place might seem. 4. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. This proverb advises against unnecessary delay or procrastination. It encourages taking action quickly instead of waiting too long, as opportunities might be lost if you hesitate. When the job opportunity came up, Jane applied immediately. She never lets the grass grow under her feet. The coach urged the players to seize every chance during practice, reminding them not to let the grass grow under their feet. Realizing the deadline was close, Jack started the project without delay, ensuring that he wouldn't let the grass grow under his feet. 5. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. This proverb reflects the idea that gaining knowledge often reveals the vastness of what remains unknown. It suggests that with increased learning comes greater awareness of one's limitations and the complexity of the world. After studying advanced physics, Leo admitted that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Reading about different cultures made Zoe aware that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know about the world. As Beth dwelled into history, she realized that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know about human civilization. That's the end of the practice session. Let's now read out loud a short story using all these proverbs in a proper context. Title of the story: A Garden of Life Lessons. In a small town lived a curious man named Ben. Ben loved to explore and try new things. Every day he would wander through the town and learn from the people he met. He believed that life was a big classroom. As he often said with a smile, you learn something new every day. One sunny morning, Ben decided to visit the local library. He had never spent much time there before. The library was quiet and full of books about many topics. As he walked along the tall shelves, he felt a thrill. He picked up a book on gardening because his neighbor, Mrs. Clark, was known for her beautiful garden. Ben wanted to know how she made her flowers grow so well. After reading the book, Ben visited Mrs. Clark's garden. She was planting new seeds in the flower beds. Ben asked, "Mrs. Clark, how do you care for your garden so perfectly?" Mrs. Clark smiled and said, "Well, Ben, I never wait. I plant seeds as soon as I can. I always say, don't let the grass grow under your feet." Ben nodded. He understood that delaying things would make him miss good opportunities. Inspired by Mrs. Clark's advice, Ben decided to try gardening in his own little backyard. He dug the soil and planted many different kinds of seeds. In the beginning, some plants did not grow well, and others grew too slowly. Ben felt frustrated at times. He remembered a saying his father used to say, "Live and learn." Every mistake he made was a chance to learn something important. He changed his methods and tried again. Slowly, his garden began to bloom with bright colors and sweet scents. One day, while Ben was watering his garden, a new neighbor moved in next door. Her name was Linda, and she was older than Ben. She had just retired from her long job as a teacher. Linda loved art and reading. When Ben introduced himself, he learned that Linda wanted to try painting. Ben was surprised. He thought Linda might be too old to start a new hobby. But Linda smiled and said, "You are never too old to learn." Ben was happy to hear that. He realized that Linda was full of energy and ideas. Ben and Linda soon became friends. They spent many afternoons together. Linda taught Ben some art techniques, and Ben shared his gardening tips. They would sit in the garden and talk about their favorite books and ideas. Ben listened carefully as Linda explained the different colors in a painting and the emotions they could create. He found out that every day, even in simple chats, he could learn something new. You learn something new every day, he reminded himself as he listened to Linda's gentle voice. One crisp autumn day, Ben and Linda decided to work on a community project. They planned to create a small garden for the local school. They believed that children should learn to appreciate nature and art. Ben organized a meeting with the school staff and local volunteers. He encouraged everyone to help. He told them, "We must act quickly. Don't let the grass grow under your feet." Everyone laughed at his joke and agreed to join him. They planned to start the project the very next day. During the project, Ben often thought about all that he had learned in his life. He had learned from his own mistakes and from the people around him. One evening, while sitting in his garden, Ben read a book on science. He felt amazed at how much there was to know about the world. He whispered to himself, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." This thought made him smile. It reminded him that learning is a journey with no end. There was always something new waiting to be discovered. In time, the community garden blossomed. Children laughed and played among the colorful flowers. Linda painted a mural on the garden wall, and Ben tended to the plants with care. They had created something beautiful together. Ben looked around at the thriving garden and felt proud. He knew that every mistake he had made, every lesson he had learned, and every new friend he had met had brought him to this joyful moment. Ben's life was filled with learning and growth. He cherished every day as a new chance to learn something new. His journey taught him that life was full of small lessons and big adventures. And he always remembered the simple truths that had guided him. Live and learn. You are never too old to learn. You learn something new every day. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. And the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. End of story. That's all for this Proverbs practice session. I urge you to practice these proverbs in your conversations within appropriate context over the next few days. Bye for now.